A mother admits she was blackout drunk the night her 10-month-old baby vanished from her crib. 3 cell phones mysteriously disappeared. A window was found pushed open from the inside. And when cadaver dogs searched the home, they detected the scent of human decomposition near the mother's bed. This is the story of baby Lisa Irwin, a case that has haunted Kansas City for over 13 years. Welcome to Cold Crime Cases. I'm your host, and tonight we're diving deep into one of America's most perplexing missing child cases. If you're passionate about seeking justice for the innocent and giving voice to those who can no longer speak for themselves, hit that subscribe button now. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from tonight, because this case needs witnesses from every corner of the world. On October 4th, 2011, Jeremy Irwin returned home from his night shift as an electrician at 4 a.m. to find his worst nightmare. The front door of his modest Kansas City home was unlocked. Multiple lights blazed throughout the house. His 10-month-old daughter Lisa's bedroom window was open, the screen pushed outward from inside, and Lisa's crib was empty. At 4:06 a.m., Jeremy's frantic 911 call pierced the early morning silence. "My baby's gone," he screamed into the phone. Within minutes, over 100 officers swarmed the 3600 block of North Lister Avenue. An Amber Alert was issued immediately. But baby Lisa Irwin had vanished without a trace. Lisa Renee Irwin was a beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby girl, weighing about 30 pounds and standing 30 inches tall. She had 2 tiny bottom teeth that had just erupted, a small beauty mark under her left ear, and a distinctive birthmark on her right outer thigh. The last time anyone remembers seeing her, she was wearing purple shorts and a purple shirt decorated with white kittens. Her family called her Pumpkin Pie. But as investigators began peeling back the layers of that October night, nothing was as simple as it seemed. Let's rewind to October 3rd, 2011. It was a typical Monday for the Irwin family. Deborah Bradley, Lisa's 25-year-old mother, spent the day at home with Lisa and her 2 older boys from a previous relationship, ages 5 and 8. Jeremy, her 29-year-old fiancé and Lisa's father, prepared for another night shift at his electrical job. At 5 p.m., something seemingly innocent happened that would later become crucial evidence. Security cameras captured Deborah and her brother at a nearby store, purchasing a box of wine, baby wipes, and other items. This mundane shopping trip would soon take on sinister implications. Around 5:30 p.m., Jeremy kissed his family goodbye and left for work. Deborah put the children to bed and settled in for what she later described as a quiet evening. But quiet was not. That night, Deborah's neighbor joined her on the front porch for drinks. What started as casual conversation between friends became something far more significant. Deborah would later admit to consuming between 5 and 10 glasses of wine, possibly combined with anti-anxiety medication. She described herself as drunk and acknowledged she may have blacked out. This admission would haunt the investigation forever. Deborah initially told police she last checked on Lisa at 10:40 p.m., tucking her in with her favorite pacifier blanket and glowworm toy. But later, under intense questioning, she changed her story. Maybe it was 6:40 p.m., maybe earlier. The timeline became increasingly murky as investigators pressed for details. Meanwhile, 3 miles away, witnesses reported seeing something that would chill investigators to the bone. At 12:15 a.m., a man was spotted walking alone, carrying what appeared to be a baby wearing only a diaper. At 2:30 a.m., surveillance cameras captured a figure emerging from nearby woods. At 4 a.m., just minutes before Jeremy discovered Lisa missing, another witness saw a man 3 miles from the Irwin home, still carrying what looked like an infant. When Jeremy arrived home at 4 a.m., the scene was disturbing. The front door, which the family religiously locked, was completely unlocked. Lights were on throughout the house, unusual for a family conscious about electricity bills. But most alarming was Lisa's bedroom window, found wide open with the screen pushed outward from inside, suggesting someone had either entered or exited through that window. And then there were the cell phones. 3 family cell phones that normally sat on the kitchen counter had vanished along with Lisa. This wasn't random theft. This was calculated. One of those stolen phones made a mysterious 50-second call around midnight to Megan Wright. the ex-girlfriend of a local handyman named John Jersey Tanko. When police traced this call, they discovered Wright's car had been mysteriously set on fire shortly after Lisa's disappearance. Tanko himself became a person of interest when witnesses claimed he bragged about kidnapping the baby. The investigation intensified rapidly. Over 100 officers combed to the neighborhood, nearby woods, and even drained a local reservoir. Search teams scoured abandoned homes and followed up on every tip, no matter how far-fetched. The FBI joined local police, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children became involved. But 16 days into the investigation, something happened that changed everything. On October 19th, cadaver dogs were brought to the Irwin home for a thorough search. These highly trained animals are capable of detecting the scent of human decomposition, even in trace amounts. As the dogs worked through the house methodically, they suddenly alerted near Deborah's bed. The implications were staggering. Police immediately seized multiple items from the home: a multicolored comforter, purple shorts, a Disney character shirt, Lisa's beloved glowworm toy, a Cars-themed blanket, rolls of tape, and a tape dispenser. Each item was carefully cataloged and sent for forensic analysis. Yet despite this evidence, no body was found. No blood. No definitive proof of what that cadaver dog had detected. The case was consuming investigators, but it was also tearing apart the Irwin family. Police claimed Deborah failed a polygraph test, though her attorneys disputed this. The parents initially cooperated with interviews, but as suspicion mounted, they hired attorneys and became less accessible to investigators. This lack of cooperation frustrated police, who publicly stated the parents were hindering the investigation. But from the family's perspective, they were protecting themselves from becoming scapegoats in their daughter's disappearance. As weeks turned to months, the theories multiplied. The first and most obvious was stranger abduction. Someone had entered the home through that open window or the unlocked front door, taken Lisa, and fled into the night. The stolen cell phones could have been taken to delay the family from calling for help. The witness sightings of a man carrying a baby supported this theory. But investigators couldn't ignore the evidence pointing toward the family. Deborah's heavy drinking and possible blackout created a gap in the timeline. The cadaver dog hit near her bed suggested something tragic had happened in that room. Could Lisa have died accidentally while co-sleeping with an intoxicated mother? Could the open window and missing phones have been staged to suggest an abduction? Imagine if it was your daughter, your sister, or your friend. Would you want their story buried under noise or told with care? Subscribing helps make sure no child's story fades away, because every missing child deserves our attention, and our voice is calling for justice. Then there was John Jersey Tanko, the handyman who lived in the neighborhood. Tanko had a criminal history involving drugs and had allegedly bragged to acquaintances about kidnapping Lisa. The mysterious phone call to his ex-girlfriend Megan Wright, combined with her car being torched shortly after, made him a prime suspect. But despite extensive investigation, police never found enough evidence to charge him. Some investigators theorized the disappearance was connected to drugs, given Tanko's history and the calculated nature of taking the cell phones. Others wondered if Lisa had been taken for human trafficking or to be raised by someone unable to have children naturally. A particularly disturbing lead emerged in May 2012. Fraudulent charges appeared on the Irwin family's debit card. $69.04 linked to a website offering fake birth certificates and name changes. 2 additional attempts were made, but declined by the bank. Was someone trying to create a new identity for Lisa? The timing was too coincidental to ignore. The case gained international attention when, in October 2013, a blonde girl found in a Romani camp in Greece was thought to possibly be Lisa. DNA testing quickly ruled this out, but it showed how desperately people wanted to find this missing child. Years passed with periodic updates, but no breakthroughs. The case was featured on numerous true crime shows and podcasts. Age progression photos were released showing what Lisa might look like at ages 5, 9, and 12. Each image was a painful reminder that somewhere a little girl was growing up. But where? The Irwin family never stopped fighting. They continued organizing searches, maintaining reward offers, and keeping Lisa's story in the public eye. Jeremy and Deborah eventually married and displayed abducted, posters outside their home, a constant reminder of their missing daughter. But as the years stretched on, leads dried up, tips became less frequent. Media attention shifted to newer cases. Lisa Irwin was becoming another cold case statistic. This took me hours of painful research, reading police files, witness statements, and the desperate pleas of parents who lost their child. If you felt safe watching from your screen, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's the least you could do to help ensure stories like Lisa's continue to be told until justice is served. Today, Lisa Irwin will be approximately 14 years old. She might be in high school, discovering her interests, maybe playing sports or learning to drive. She might have no memory of her birth family, believing she's living with her biological parents. She might be asking questions about her past that her captors can't answer. Or she might not be alive at all. The Kansas City Police Department maintains that Lisa's case is still active, though it's been over 13 years since that October night. They believe she may still be alive and continue to follow up on credible leads. The FBI remains involved, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children keeps her case file open. Recent years have brought renewed attention. In 2025, media personality Megyn Kelly produced a documentary series revisiting the timeline and key witnesses. The case has been featured on Amazon Prime's People Magazine Investigates and numerous true crime podcasts. Each new piece of coverage brings hope that someone, somewhere, will recognize something that leads to answers. The investigation revealed troubling statistics about missing children cases. Infant abductions by strangers are extremely rare. Most occur within the first week of life and are committed by women unable to have children. Lisa's case defied these patterns, making it even more perplexing. What makes this case so haunting is how many questions remain unanswered. If someone broke into the house, why wasn't there more evidence of forced entry? If Lisa died accidentally at home, where is her body? If she was taken for trafficking or illegal adoption, why haven't there been credible sightings in 13 years? The witness account of a man carrying a baby that night remains some of the most compelling evidence for stranger abduction. 3 separate witnesses at different times and locations reported similar sightings. Yet despite massive publicity and reward offers, no one has been able to identify this mysterious figure. The stolen cell phones continue to puzzle investigators. Taking all 3 phones suggests planning and awareness that parents would immediately call for help upon discovering their child missing. But the call to Megan Wright seems almost intentionally obvious, as if someone wanted to create a trail. John Jersey. Tanko died several years ago, taking his secrets with him. Megan Wright has maintained her innocence and claims she doesn't know why her phone was called that night. The truth about these connections may never be known. For Deborah Bradley, the mother's admission of heavy drinking that night became a scarlet letter she could never remove. Critics argue that a responsible mother would never drink to the point of blackout while caring for an infant. Supporters contend that she was grieving, stressed, and seeking temporary relief from life's pressures, and that her honesty about drinking proves her innocence rather than guilt. The Cadaver dog hit remains one of the most significant pieces of evidence, yet it's also one of the most ambiguous. Dogs can sometimes alert to previous decomposition or even certain medical conditions. Without a body or forensic evidence, the alert alone couldn't support charges. If you're still watching and haven't subscribed, I'm honestly curious. What's holding you back? Drop it in the comments. I actually want to know, because cases like Lisa's need every voice possible demanding answers and refusing to let these children be forgotten. The psychological toll on the Irwin family has been immense. Living under suspicion while grieving a missing child created unbearable stress. Their older boys had to grow up in the shadow of their sister's disappearance, dealing with media attention and community whispers. Jeremy continued working to support his family, while never giving up hope of finding Lisa. The case highlighted problems with how law enforcement and media handle missing children cases involving families. The immediate suspicion cast on parents, while statistically justified, can sometimes hinder investigations when families become defensive and uncooperative. The intense media scrutiny can also compromise witness testimony and contaminate evidence. Community response to Lisa's disappearance was overwhelming. Volunteers organized search parties, distributed flyers, and raised funds for rewards. Local businesses displayed her photo for years. The case brought people together in ways that showed the best of human nature during the worst of circumstances. But as time passed, the community's attention inevitably shifted. New tragedies demanded focus. Lisa's case became yesterday's news. This is a cruel reality of cold cases. Public interest fades even as families continue suffering. The financial impact on the family was also significant. Legal fees, private investigators, and reduced work hours took their toll. While some families receive support from victim advocacy groups, many missing children's families struggle economically while searching for answers. International attention brought both hope and frustration. Every blonde child spotted anywhere in the world generated tips and speculation. Most leads went nowhere, but each false alarm reopened wounds for the family. The 2013 Greece incident perfectly exemplified this cycle of hope and disappointment. Today's digital age means Lisa's case continues reaching new audiences through social media, podcasts, and streaming documentaries. True crime enthusiasts analyze every detail, propose new theories, and keep public pressure on law enforcement. This attention is crucial for cold cases, as new witnesses or information can emerge years later. The advancement of DNA technology and facial recognition software offers new hope for old cases. Evidence collected in 2011 might yield different results with today's technology. Age progression imaging has become more sophisticated, creating more accurate representations of what missing children might look like today. Law enforcement approaches to missing children cases have also evolved since Lisa's disappearance. Better coordination between agencies, improved Amber Alert systems, and enhanced training for interviewing family members have resulted from lessons learned in cases like this. The case raises important questions about child safety and family dynamics. How do we balance child protection with family privacy? When do parental choices become negligent? How do we support families in crisis while ensuring children's safety? Lisa's case offers no easy answers to these complex questions. For investigators, Lisa Irwin represents both failure and determination. Failure to solve the case initially, but unwavering determination to never give up. Detectives have retired, but new ones have taken over the file. The case remains a priority because missing children cases are never truly closed until the child is found. The psychological profiles developed during the investigation paint different pictures of potential perpetrators. A stranger abductor would likely be someone familiar with the neighborhood, possibly with criminal history or personal struggles. A family member would be dealing with extreme stress, substance abuse, or mental health issues. Each profile suggests different investigative approaches and evidence patterns. Forensic evidence from the scene continues to be re-examined as technology advances. Items seized from the home were processed using 2011 technology, but modern techniques might reveal additional information. This ongoing analysis keeps hope alive that physical evidence might eventually provide answers. The role of social media in modern missing persons cases cannot be overstated. Lisa's disappearance occurred as Facebook and Twitter were becoming mainstream, allowing unprecedented information sharing and public involvement. This connectivity has revolutionized how missing children cases are investigated and publicized. Legal experts have debated whether charges could ever be filed based on existing evidence. The circumstantial nature of most evidence makes prosecution challenging without additional discoveries. This legal limbo frustrates both law enforcement and families seeking closure. The case has influenced policy discussions about mandatory reporting, child welfare checks, and family court procedures. Lisa's disappearance highlighted gaps in systems designed to protect children and support families in crisis. These discussions continue in legislative chambers and social services agencies. Not ready to subscribe? That's okay. But at least tell me why in the comments. I want to learn from you, because understanding what drives people to seek justice for children like Lisa helps me tell these stories better. As we conclude this investigation into Lisa Irwin's disappearance, we're left with more questions and answers. A beautiful 10-month-old baby girl vanished from her crib on October 3rd, 2011, and despite massive investigations, media attention, and public support, she has never been found. The theories persist. Stranger abduction remains possible, supported by witness sightings and the calculated theft of cell phones. Family involvement cannot be ruled out, given inconsistent statements and a cadaver dog alert. John Jersey, Tanko's connection to the mysterious phone call keeps him in the suspect pool even after death. But beyond theories and speculation lies a simple truth. Lisa Irwin was a real child with a real family who loved her. She took her first steps, said her first words, and brought joy to everyone who knew her. She deserves to be found, whether that means returning home safely or receiving proper burial with dignity. For Jeremy and Deborah, the search continues. They've never stopped hoping, never stopped fighting, never stopped loving their missing daughter. Their older boys have grown up living with this tragedy, but also with the strength that comes from never giving up on family. If Lisa's alive today, she's 14 years old. She might be watching this video, unaware of her true identity, but perhaps feeling something familiar about her story. If you're out there, Lisa, please know that your family never stopped looking for you. They never stopped loving you, and they never will. To viewers watching tonight, Lisa's case needs your voice. Share this video. Talk about her story. Keep her memory alive. Because every missing child deserves our attention until they're found and brought home safely. If you have any information about Lisa Irwin's disappearance, please contact the Kansas City Police Department or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Your tip, no matter how small it might seem, could be the key that finally brings this little girl home. The case of baby Lisa Irwin remains open, active, and solvable. Justice delayed is not justice denied. Somewhere out there are answers. Somewhere out there might be Lisa herself, waiting to come home to the family who never stopped searching. Thank you for watching tonight's investigation into one of America's most heartbreaking cold cases. If this story moved you, please like this video and share with others who care about missing children. Your engagement helps ensure cases like Lisa's never fade from public memory. Which theory do you find most convincing? What evidence do you think investigators should focus on next? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because solving cold cases often takes fresh eyes and new perspectives from people like you. Until next time, keep seeking truth, keep demanding justice, and never forget the children who are still waiting to come home. I'm your host, and this has been Cold Crime Cases.